Have you ever loved someone so deeply that you were willing to leave your home, your family, your entire life behind, just to stand beside them? But then one day, they look at you, and you realize you are not their first choice, not their priority, just someone they care about, while caring about something, or someone, else more. That pain doesn't scream. It whispers, "You are replaceable." And that's exactly where this story begins. Because Jasmine didn't just come to America for love. She sacrificed everything for it. She walked away from her home, her culture, her sense of belonging, just to be with a man who promised her, "You'll never be alone again." But promises are easy to speak. Choosing someone, that's harder. So when she said, "I don't want to be equally important. I want to be the most important person in your life," she wasn't being dramatic, she was begging to not feel like an option in the life she rebuilt from zero. And while that love was already cracking, while her voice was already trembling, while her heart was already bleeding, something happened that no one was prepared for. One knock at the door, one conversation in the dark, one immigration file she never knew existed. And suddenly, she wasn't fighting for love anymore. She was fighting for time. 30 days. That's all she has. Not to heal her marriage, not to fix her heartbreak, but to leave the United States. And the worst part? He just stood there, watching it happen. It started like it always does. Not with a fight, but with a tiny silence. The type of silence where you already know something is wrong before a single word is spoken. Gino walked into the room. He wasn't yelling. He wasn't angry. But his eyes, they were the kind of eyes that say, "I've seen something I wasn't supposed to see." And Jasmine felt it instantly. Her body went still, her breathing slowed, because when you love someone too much, their silence is louder than any scream. He sat down his phone, face down, as if protecting a secret. But then he spoke. Who is he? No name, no explanation, just a simple question that cut deeper than any insult ever could. Jasmine froze. That name, that past, those messages she thought were gone. It all came back like a tidal wave. She tried to explain. It was before. I was lonely. I was scared. I was trying to survive, but pain doesn't listen to reason. It listens to memory. And Gino? He didn't hear her explanation. He heard betrayal. The volume rose. The walls shook. Neighbors listened. The past spilled everywhere like shattered glass. And then, the moment everything changed, because when the yelling stopped, there was crying. Not loud, not dramatic. The quiet, broken crying of two people who know they love each other, but don't know how to stop hurting each other. Someone called the cops, a neighbor, a witness, or maybe just someone tired of the pain echoing through the walls. And when the police arrived, TLC cameras were already outside. Crew members standing in the cold, hands shaking, no one saying a word. Because the show had finally crossed the line. This wasn't entertainment anymore. This was real. Police separated them, one inside, one outside, asking the same questions. Do you feel safe? Do you want to press charges? Are you staying here legally? That last question was the one that changed everything. Because when they checked her immigration file, something was wrong. Something that should have been fixed. Something she didn't even know was broken. Her marriage visa had been denied. Not processing, not pending, denied. Not because she lied, not because she cheated the system, but because in their interview, she said one thing, and he said something different. Two answers that didn't match. Two stories that didn't align. Two hearts that weren't beating in the same rhythm anymore. And that was enough. Immigration was notified. ICE was called, and Jasmine realized this wasn't a fight anymore. This was the moment her life in America ended. The lights outside the house flashed blue and white, but inside, everything felt numb. Jasmine sat on the couch, not screaming, not arguing anymore, just silent. That kind of silence that comes after the heart finally gives up trying to explain itself. The officer stepped forward and said her name. Not angry, not aggressive, just official. "Ma'am, you need to come with us." She blinked, slow, confused, lost. Because in her mind, this was still just a relationship problem, not a life problem, not a country problem. Her voice cracked. "Why? What did I do?" The officer didn't answer at first, because the answer wasn't about guilt or innocence. It was paperwork. It was timing. It was a broken love story on a government form. Her visa had expired. Her marriage application was marked inconsistent. Her interview was flagged. They didn't see love. They saw risk. And just like that, her entire future was reduced to a file number. One officer radioed backup, routine, but the sound hit her like a gunshot. Her fingers curled into the couch, gripping it like it could save her. Like the house itself could hold her there and refuse to let the world take her away. She looked at Gino. And this was the part nobody was ready for. He didn't yell. He didn't cry. He didn't run to stop them. He froze. Like a man watching his own mistake unfold in slow motion, but unable to undo it. She whispered, "Say something. Just say something. Please." But silence can be its own answer. Officers guided her to the door. Not dragging, not forcing, just guiding. And Jasmine, the same Jasmine who has fought every battle with fire in her voice, finally broke. Her knees buckled. Her voice cracked open like glass. "Gino, don't let them take me. Don't let this be the end." The house camera guy was crying. One of the producers stepped away. No one had expected Real to look like this. And here's the part that TLC will never show. As they took her down the driveway, she turned back, tears streaking her face, and shouted, "Tell my mother I'm sorry." The kind of words that only come when a person truly believes they might never come back. One final heartbreak. TLC did film it. Every second, every scream, every tear. The arrest, the handcuffs, the breakdown. But they can't air it. Legally, ethically, publicly. So instead, they pretended she just went to visit family. They took the most painful moment of her life and replaced it with a storyline. When Jasmine arrived at the detention center, there were no cameras, no makeup, no bright studio lights, just cold walls and fluorescent silence. The first night, she didn't sleep. Not because she was afraid, but because she was trying to understand. How did love turn into this? How did forever become 30 days? And why? Why did the person she crossed borders for not fight harder? Meanwhile, back at the house, Gino sat alone. The same chair, the same couch, the same four walls. But it didn't feel like home anymore. Because home is not a place. Home is a person. And that person was gone. He kept replaying the night in his head. Every word, every breath, every silence. Not the yelling, but the moment her voice broke. The moment she said, "I don't want to be equal. I want to be chosen." And there it was, the truth. She didn't want luxury. She didn't want fame. She didn't want perfection. She just wanted to be someone's first choice. But love is cruel when the timing is wrong. The legal reality. ICE didn't see heartbreak. They didn't see sacrifice. They didn't see love. They saw a denied visa. Inconsistent interview statements. A relationship marked unstable, and unstable love becomes a red flag on government paper. So the court gave her a decision. Leave willingly in 30 days or be deported and banned for 10 years. 10 years, 10 birthdays, 10 summers, 10 winters, 10 years of what if. So she chose the only option that didn't destroy her future completely. Voluntary departure. But voluntary is a cruel word when your heart is being forced. Jasmine's last days in America. They moved her to Florida, not to a hotel, not to a safe house, to a friend's spare room. She stayed off social media. She wore sunglasses in public. She avoided airports, malls, restaurants. She didn't want cameras, gossip, pity, or noise. Just air, just time, just one moment where her heart could breathe. And yet, time was not her friend anymore. Every sunrise meant one less day. Every night meant one step closer to goodbye. She wasn't counting hours. She was counting memories. The first time he held her hand, the airport reunion, the smiles, the fights, the nights they said, "I love you," and meant it. Love didn't disappear. It just ran out of time. The last day didn't come slowly. It arrived like a punch. No countdown clock, no dramatic buildup, just morning, and the realization that it was time. Her suitcase wasn't big, just clothes, a few letters, a necklace he once gave her on a night they thought love alone could fix everything. She didn't pack memories, not because she didn't want to, but because some memories hurt too much to carry. Gino drove her to the airport. No cameras were allowed, no crew, no production, no fake TV goodbye. Just two people sitting in a car that suddenly felt too small for the silence between them. He kept gripping the steering wheel, knuckles white, like if he held it hard enough, maybe the world would stop spinning. She looked out the window. Not crying, not talking, just trying to stay whole long enough not to fall apart before the plane even arrived. Finally, he spoke. It wasn't an apology. It wasn't a promise. It wasn't a declaration of love. It was a whisper. "I didn't think it would end like this." And Jasmine, with a voice that sounded like the last heartbeat before a collapse,